Last year, I released my dream crochet pattern, the Aubrielle Top. To me, this design feels like ballroom dancing, a bouquet of fresh roses, and drinking coffee in a cozy coffee shop. I've always loved watching period dramas, the elegance, the ballrooms, the dresses, and the historical romance, and so that is like the main inspiration for this design. A lot of the dresses have like these really cool puffy sleeves, which I really wanted to incorporate with a fitted bodice, which I used in my design. I wanted to create like a modern version of this without all the tightness of a corset. That would still look elegant and refined, but also be super cozy and comfortable to wear. So I mixed these vintage historical elements with some more modern parts to create the perfect top. I knew the sleeves had to be like the perfect blend of bold and puffy and statement, but also not too heavy or too, I wanted them to still have a lot of drape in them, which is why I went with this mohair yarn, which is super light, but also gives this like ethereal sort of beautiful fluffiness and boldness to this design. The body I needed to be tighter, as you know, it needs to be not see-through, and also quite sturdy, but also it needs to be fitted, so it needs to be a little bit tighter and more sturdy than the airiness of the sleeves. And also I think this contrast really makes the sleeves pop and makes them extra special. So I love supporting yarn dyers and other small businesses, but I also love using up my stash to make room for more yarn, of course. And so for this project I used 2 yarns that I had left over from other projects. So this first mohair yarn was from Louis and Lola Yarns. Now they're an Australian yarn company, which I love, and they get their inspiration from their yarns from like the natural beauty of Tasmania, where they're based. And so this colorway is called Tea Rose. It's this beautiful sort of dusky pink, sort of dusty rose kind of color, which looks really elegant and refined. If you didn't know, I love pink, so this is sort of a different shade to what I'm used to working with, but I find it very wearable. It's good for kind of all seasons. You can wear it in like the spring, right through to like in winter, and it also looks quite autumnal. So I think the color is really versatile, and as I said before, the mohair really helps with the shape and the construction of the sleeve. For the body, I used a yarn called the Fiberco Amble. That's a really nice sustainable yarn, so it's made of like a merino mixed with alpaca, so it's quite soft, and also a recycled nylon, which is good because that sort of averts that from going to waste. And I think it's a little bit darker than my sleeves, which I quite like, but they're a very similar shade, very similar color family, as you can see, and the 2 of them worked really well together to create this top. So all of my designs are super customizable, and this one is no different. There's so many different options. You could like make the sleeves long sleeves, which I think would be a really nice design choice. You can also lengthen the bodice. I think you could probably make it into a dress if you wanted to, or just along the top. I've added like a little edging here, a scalloped edge, which is really cute. But you could omit that if you prefer, or you could try a different crochet edging if you really like. I also use these adorable buttons for the back of mine. I found them at a secondhand shop and they're really beautiful. Little hearts, how cute. But there's also an option if you wanted to do a tie, or you could just sew it closed if you prefer. I've also added in a little hook and eye closure here, just to make sure that it's definitely secured at the top, which I find works really well. And I love the look of buttons, but you may not, so you don't have to put them in, which is totally fine as well. I also reckon you could definitely put some embroidery, like embroidery would look really cute along the baseline here, if you have tried that before. If not, I've actually got another tutorial for some simple embroidery, which I will link down below, so make sure to check that out if you're interested. I really love to see what you create with my designs, and I can't wait to see what you make. I hope I've inspired you to make something beautiful.